Ortega. I interviewed Dr. Ron Mersha. He is the CEO of Sea Life Family Vision Source. I've had the honor of working with Dr. Mersha for 4 years now, and I've learned a lot from him. He's definitely somebody that is soft and gentle, but he's definitely, when his presence is there. Um, Dr. Mersha came to Sea Life at a changing time. One of the doctors was retiring, and a new person was coming in and purchased her portion of the practice. And then Dr. Mersha bought in as well. We, with those changes, got to expand by 50% of our building, and of course, we got to add a whole lot more patients to our business. So Dr. Jackie Bowen is who initially started Sea Life. She bought the practice from Dr. Zick um, back in the 90s, and she knew Dr. Mersha was a fit. And when she was talking with him about the organization and optometry in general. Um, when I asked Dr. Mersha, how do you incorporate your faith into your leadership? What do you do? He's not one to preach, but he's definitely one to show that he's a man of faith. Um, it's kind of crazy, but when I asked him this, he said, I knew this was going to be hard. And he stroked his beard and his mustache like he always does. And he says, that's kind of easy though. It's the golden rule. I just want people to treat me the way that I should treat them. So if I'm good to others, others should be good to me. And that's the rule that I live by. And it truly is the rule that he lives by. He definitely treats everyone with respect. We talked about what motivates him, and he said that the best thing for him is to know that he's done a good job at the end of the day. I was thinking about this, and I'm like, this is kind of hard. How does a doctor know that they did a good job at the end of the day? People come to us not because they're dying, but because they want to know that they have good vision. So it's still hard for I think for him to be able to know he's done a good job. We get surveys, and with the surveys, sometimes it will they'll say something special about a doctor, and we'll forward that on to a doctor, so that way they know that they did do a good job. Sometimes somebody will say something great about the doctor, and we'll send an email to them and let them know that this was a great experience for this person. And he loves that. But still, day to day, how do you make that last? So I'm taking this on myself, and I think I'm just going to tell him every day, it was a great day. You did a great job. And it's going to be weird. It's going to be hard, but I think I can do it. We talked about Dr. Mersha's mentor, and I can definitely tell when we talked about his mentor that he got happy. He smiled, and he's like, well, he's gone now, but he was a great man. And I told him what was so great about him. He's like, his conversation. He definitely was a person that knew how to speak, and he was somebody that could talk to him, and that he felt like he was being genuine with him. I asked him, well, what did he do for others that made you understand how great of a man he was? And he said he treated his staff with respect, he paid them well, and he didn't overwork them. It's, again, simple but kind. He said he was just a truly kind man every day, all the time. We did talk about somebody that he didn't look up to as a leader that he had the unfortunate experience of knowing. It was somebody that he worked with when he was in the environmental health and safety business, and it was somewhere in Nebraska. And he said this man was just horrible to him. That he had a degree in this particular area, and he still just treated Dr. Mersha very poorly. He would set up little schemes to show that Dr. Mersha wasn't prepared or a great person for this type of job. Dr. Mersha remembered an incident where he needed to get into this portion of the building, but the man was holding a meeting in that area, and that he kept the meeting going, just trying to see how long would it take for Dr. Marsha to break down and say, I need to get into this room. That's not him. And he never did. So he just kept going on with his day, and then when he was able to, he got into that room. But he knew that later he found out that he did this on purpose, just as a test to see how far he could push him. And it's just horrible to know that he had to experience something like that, because he's never made anybody experience something like that. Um, he also remembered that there was a coworker of his that was a female, and this leader would give the female all the work, all because she was just that, a female, but he was the one with the degree. So he just felt very not not useful in this industry, which I'm glad for, because of this incident and because of how he was treated in that industry, that pushed him to pursue optometry school. And optometry is definitely his passion. We can all see that. Um, I asked Dr. Marsha, sorry, I asked Dr. Marsha, what motivates him, and what does he do on a day-to-day basis um, that he enjoys about being a leader. And one, he says he loves bringing his change and his plans, and thinking things through, and just really being able to find ways to make change that are for the better, not just to make change. And he's definitely done that. Um, we have figured out a way. He has figured out a way to make our preliminary testing in 20 minutes. So we have a few different rooms that we need to go into to make that happen, and he's made it to where we can be in those rooms for 7 minutes at a time, and then in 20 minutes we would be complete with that process, and they would be able to take over the examination with a doctor and a scribe. So that's been huge for us. That's something that we've been able to grow our practice and see more patients. Um, and you might find it strange that I keep saying our practice. I'm not an owner of the practice, but they definitely make me feel comfortable enough to say that and to express that. And that's just the type of CEOs that we have in the practice with Dr. Marsha. I asked Dr. Marsha about his history, like what led him here other than, this bad experience. And he definitely had some experience in the world. As growing up throughout his years, he worked with his dad at an engine, a motor, he did electric motor engineering. So he worked on electric motors, and this is what he did every summer as a child until he went to college. So once he went to college, then he went on and worked at Chuck E. Cheese, made some pizza dough. He said that was fun, but not great. So then he moved on to Old Chicago. He said this is the funnest job he's ever had. I kind of think it was the funnest job he ever had, because he could be silly, and he's great when he's being silly. And he can just meet and mingle with other people, and I can definitely see that about him, how he can love that. He also, had some other little jobs here and there, as far as like working at Country General and such. So nothing that he really truly had a passion for until he got into optometry. And that's what I told him. It definitely sounds like this was your calling, and he knows it. I'm sure he knows that it is. So with what Dr. Marsha brings to the table at Sea Life is his strategic planning. He thinks long term. He doesn't think about, just the day-to-day. He helps with the day-to-day, and he makes it better, but he's definitely thinking long term. Sometimes we talk about, forecasting our inventory, forecasting our financials. Anything that we can do that we can forecast that we're going to be able to be prepared for in the future is something that Dr. Marsha really likes to look at. Dr. Marsha likes to alleviate stress in any way that he possibly can for everyone. And from fixing a computer to one thing that he did for me that was beyond amazing was he created me a scheduling template. There's lots of them out there, I know, but this template was just, none of them were working for me. And the one that he created for me has worked. It saves me time, it saves me energy, it saves me brain cells. So I definitely have felt honored that he created this just for me. talking to the partners, his partners, which are his peers, is they really felt like he was a great fit. Dr. Bowen said that they were standing in a really long line and they were talking just as colleagues, and that's when he captured her attention by his love of optometry and his respect for optometry. And she knew he had a great sense of respect for optometry. He's easygoing. Dr. Bush had a lot to say, but it summed it up with she loves that he's easygoing, has a great sense of number crunching, and he's the best handyman that we can ever have. He fixes everything and he does it with pleasure. So it's great having him around when it comes to this. I also asked him what makes a person a good follower, and he said, same thing, the golden rule. As long as you treat others the way you expect them to treat you, you'll not only be a great follower, but you'll be a great leader. I think that's kind of funny when I asked him, where is that in the Bible? And he said, Matthew 7:12, and his son is Matthew, one of his sons anyway. So getting to know Dr. Marsha has been a great experience for me, and I have totally loved sitting with him and chatting with him on a one-on-one and just talking about some different things that I would have never known about him. This has been a great experience, and I appreciate it. Thank you so much, and I hope you enjoy your next session. Have a great day.